Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Carol Moulton coming to you once again, Tea Time with Carol. How has this past week been for you? Done well? Done, yeah. Done the week from, um, we won't say it. But you know what? It's about seeing what's good in it, seeing what you needed to recognize and shift or adjust it, whether it was good or bad. It's all in how you think about it and the interpretation you give to it. So we're diving right in today. We're not going to do a whole lot of chit chat. We're just going to give you what we came to give you, and then we out. You out. I'm not going to, belabor things with you. I do want you to know I love you, care about you, think about you, pray for you on a continual basis, and hope that you are doing well. Last week, if you recall, we started our journey on 22 and 22. 22 things we're going to look at to either stop doing or doing more of, or just evaluating where we are, all with the aim of improving our life in during this third year of the pandemic. But it's still an opportunity as long as you're breathing. There is an opportunity for you. Speaking of that, it just came to mind. I have a friend, virtual friend, but we're in a number of groups together. He is a young man who is, he traveled. He was very, very active in his life. He did a lot of international traveling. Just the whole world was in front of him. And on one of his travels, he got some kind of virus that has deprived him of virtually everything. He can no longer speak. He has to breathe through a trachea in his neck. He can't walk. He can't really talk. He's, really reduced physically from the life that he had. I mean, in a huge way. But he's written books. He writes books. Don't ask me how. He does it on a computer and published them. So no matter how bad you think you have it, I don't want to say somebody else is doing worse, because that's a horrible analogy, but there's an opportunity, in there for you to improve. When you look and see what other people are struggling with, sometimes it helps to put yours in a better perspective. So 22 and 22, that's what we're talking about today. And just to recap, the ones that we talked about improving last time were finances, exercise, spirituality, and let me stop and slow down a little bit. Finances. What we suggested with that was tracking for a month, tracking every single expenditure that you have, whether it's online or Starbucks or whatever, $20 to the kids, whatever. Track every single expenditure, because you can't fix what you don't know. So in order to see where your money is going, you've got to follow that money trail to figure out where the holes are, and then you can start plugging them. Exercise, we said we're going to do 22 minutes a day, whether it's walking or some form of exercise. Spirituality, we said 22 minutes. And, it really works to do it first thing in the morning if you can. 22 minutes either in the Bible or whatever your devotional may be, or 22 minutes in meditation. There are a number of good apps. Aura is one, that's spelled Aura. And I don't get any money. This is not an advertisement. It's just one that I personally use. But there are many, many others that are out there. And if you want a guided meditation, or if you want to meditate to music, that may be something you want to look into, just as a way to set your intention for the day before you jump up and just start doing, running. It's good to just take a pause, be grateful, be thankful that you woke up this morning, and then set your intention for what you're going to do with the rest of your day. We talked about relationships and not leading from your hurt. And Diet. We talked about not really dieting per se, but we talked about being more attentive to what you're putting in your mouth. And I think I shared that I no longer eat meat or dairy. And that's just a personal choice for me. I know how I feel with it. I used to get up when I was, and I'm a meat lover, okay? So let's not get it twisted. Um, I love a good fried chicken. I was a faithful customer of Popeyes. I'm not going to lie to you. I loved a good steak, love good barbecue, okay? But I also noticed that when I got up in the morning, as I'm getting older, I noticed when I got up in the morning, I was extremely stiff. Back hurt, everything was achy. Since I have stopped eating meat, I do not wake up stiff anymore. When I get up, I just get up. There's no, let me find the stuff to put on my back. Let me, no, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. 1,000% better when I get up in the morning. So it's just something to consider. That's my experience. Your experience may be different, but it's something to look at. And there's spiritual reasons for why you may want to consider eliminating or at least cutting back on meat. One is the way meat is raised in this country. With the synthetics and the hormones and all that, it's not necessarily a good choice health wise. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So I think that's where we stopped. So if not, let's do it this way. We're going to go on and we're going to try to do the next set. We probably won't finish all 22 today, but we'll see how far along we get. The next one after diet, and I don't know if I talked about this last time or not. I don't remember, honestly, but self-care. There are things that I suggest you do for you on a regular basis, whether it's monthly or weekly, and that can be nails done, it can be facials, it can be massages, but there is something that you should do for you. As women in particular, are we're socialized to put everybody else first. When we're little, we're given dolls, and we're mommies, and we learn from very, very early how to take care of other people. We learn how to read faces. We learn how to, instantly when your child walks in the room if something's not right. They don't have to say a word. Immediately when something's not right. You know it about your significant other as well. But really with your child, you really know. Well, we're so in tune with other people that we're not always in tune with ourselves. And so self-care is a way to remedy that. It doesn't have to take a long, long time, but it should be something that you do intentionally, whether it's a bubble bath, whatever it is. Whatever you choose is fine, but do something that is specifically for you that doesn't involve anybody else. Just a time to reconnect with who you are and what you want. I mean, we give, so let's just take a moment, pause, and check in with yourself, Another part of self-care, I think, is we as women have a way of depreciating everything. When somebody gives us a compliment and say, "Oh, I really like that dress." "Oh, girl, this whole thing, I've had this for ages." Now, good and daggone well, you just bought it last week, okay? So we need to really stop deflecting when people give us a compliment. Just say thank you. Thank you is enough. Thank you. That's a nice bag. Thanks. You don't need no conversation is needed. You don't need to depreciate or minimize, or you don't have to say how much it costs. You don't need to go through the whole story about, well, I was in Lord and Taylor And then I found this sale and it was underneath a pile and da da da. You know, you don't have to go through all that. Just thank you. Okay. Another part of self-care is not being, well, I don't know if I said it this way, but in your head, not just in what you're saying out to people in response to people, but also what you're saying to yourself about you. And I'm suggesting as part of our 22 and 22 is that you stop the negative self-talk to yourself. Really start focusing on the things you're thinking about. You know, there's a dialogue that goes on in your head, whether you're aware of it or not, and all the time. All the time you're thinking, you know, should I do this or should I do that? What do I want for lunch? What I mean, there's just this dialogue that's continuous, you know. And if you're not careful, if you're not aware, you can catch yourself thinking things like, "Oh, I'm so stupid. Why did I do that? You know, what was I thinking? I'm so dumb." You know, that kind of stuff. And it's really bad on a number of levels to to do that. And so I am really, I'm not suggesting, I'm begging you to become aware of your thoughts. If you need help with that, you know, please contact me. I'd be glad to help you and show you how to become aware. I have a couple of techniques. I can show you exactly step by step how to turn that around. And this is not a commercial for me, but, you know, something that I'm really deeply concerned about because I know how much trouble we can get into just by our thoughts and the things that we're not focused on. So anyway, moving on. Okay, so self-care and not being self-critical and um, accepting compliments. That's all part of self-care. Another one in 22 and 22 is time away. You know, start scheduling some time, and I guess this is part of self-care, but start scheduling some time where you can step away from, you know, the day-to-day grind. You know, if you're still working from home, that may be kind of difficult, but if you've got leave or if you can make yourself unavailable, and that means turning off everything. That doesn't mean you know, scrolling, you know, all day long because you can go down a rabbit hole with that. But it means really taking time, just, you know, maybe you and your journal or, you know, just however you want to spend it, you know, be creative and maybe take a drive, a day drive and go in the mountains or go, you know, visit some, I don't know, historic area, something you haven't seen before, something you haven't done, just to refresh and reset and get a different kind of perspective. Yes, I know it's cold. Yes, I know weather is bad in some areas, but you can start planning now, you know, and or your time away can be at home. Go into a room that you never go in and sit and look out the window in that room and just see things from a different perspective. There are a million ways to do it. So you be creative and figure out something that works for you. Doesn't have to be an all day thing. It can be 22 minutes if that's all you got. All right, on a more practical level, and you may chuckle on this one, but this is one that has been a struggle for me and something that I am really committing to do in 2022, and that is organizing my passwords. That sounds crazy, but I've got passwords all over the place. I've got passwords on little pieces of paper. I've got them written down in books, different books. So that means I got to search through, and it's a time waster, you know. So organizing my passwords and either writing them all down in one place or finding a password keeper online. But before the end of this month, that is okay. So I'm saying it, so I'm committing myself. And I'd love it if you would commit with me, organizing passwords, because you know we've got so many things, and it's probably a good time to change all of our passwords as well because there's so many viruses and vulnerabilities They recommend that you change passwords on a regular basis. So organizing and changing them is probably a good time to do both. So that's just one of the things that I really intend on doing. Some of these are long term, some of these are short term. That's a short term, and it may take, maybe it's bigger than 22 minutes in one day, so maybe just chop it up, and do it over the course of a couple of days. But you will be happier, your bank account will be happier, your credit cards, all of your financial things, will breathe a lot easier if you make them a bit more secure. The next one is, if you've thought about having your own business and not sure where to start. 22 and 22 suggests, my suggestion for you is to really focus on your vision and to take some time every day, or at least on a regular basis, 2 or 3 times a week, to figure out what your vision is. And you can start focusing by using, this is kind of a template that many people use. You say I, and then your next thing is who you help. Who are the people that you're going to help? I help women under 40. I help women who struggle with fibroids. I help women who want to retire. I help whatever it is. I help um, high school students who want to go to college. I help whatever it is you're helping, whoever your target audience is. I help these folks do whatever it is you help them do by blank. How you help them do it. And that's sort of the formula to help you set your vision and helps you start narrowing down, because trying to say you help everybody is not going to cut it, because everybody ends up being nobody. So you really need to focus down, narrow down on who it is that you wish to serve and how you wish to serve them and what it is that you do. The next one, after you have your company together, is, and this is for people who are not already in business or who are just starting. These are some tips for you. The next one, well, this one actually is for everybody. Treat your business like a business. And a lot of times people who start a business, and I've seen this over and over and over again, don't separate their personal finances from the business finances. Everything should be separate. There should be a separate bank account. You should be registered with your state. You decide if you want to be an S corporation or an LLC or whatever, but there should be some formality. You should have an EIN number from the IRS. That costs nothing. That's one phone call. And you can get it. I mean, that's, you can do it online. An EIN is employee identification number, which just means that employer identification number, which means that whether you have employees or not doesn't make any difference. It means starting your business as a business and treating it like a business. Okay, so you want to start separating things out, because come tax time, you want to be able to show that all the money that you've put out actually went towards your business. And it's much easier to do that when it's coming out of your corporate account. At some point, you want to hire people, you need to have a separate account for that. Again, if you need help with any of those things, please contact me, because those are all things that I help folks with. And the biggest way to get in trouble is to hire people and then not pay payroll taxes. That's a big no. You never want to do that. So that's just something to continue to think about. So I think we're going to stop there. Um, I think that's enough to sort of get started with, um, and sort of mull over. So if we want to do a quick recap over all of them, we've talked about finances. We've talked about and tracking every expense for a month. Exercise 22 minutes every day. Spirituality, first 22 minutes in the Bible or meditation or journaling, your choice. Spirituality. Relationships. I don't know if we talked about relationships this time. Okay, well, if we didn't, we'll talk about it next time. But the main thing is about no longer leading or speaking from your pain, but speaking from what you want to create. And um, in the famous words of Maya Angelou, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't wait until somebody stands you up 50 times to say, well, maybe he's not serious. Maybe he's not a good choice. Believe the first time. Uh, Diet. We talked about making some adjustments, and I shared that I no longer eat meat or dairy, which, I miss butter, but it's okay. The plant-based butter is actually great. Self-care, being intentional about that, taking time away, and what do we want to call it? Turning everything off, all social media, all computers, just sort of getting away from everything. Time away, organizing passwords. I think was the last. Oh no, that wasn't the last one. Next to last. Organizing passwords is part of our 22 and 22, and that may sound silly, but if you track a lot of places, or if you're on the computer a lot, you've got a lot of different passwords. Everybody wants you to sign up. And also taking a look to see if you really need. One of the things that I've been doing is unsubscribing from a lot of places that I really don't use. It's really cluttering up my email, and I end up missing emails sometimes because I've got so much clutter and I don't, always recognize stuff. Um, Treating your business, if you're starting a business, how to make sure you have the bona fides for it and treating it as a business, and making sure that you're handling your business finances appropriately, and then looking to for other ways to improve yourself. So we're going to end with that one. We'll talk about more on self-improvement next time. But I really hope that these 22 and 22, we're working our way through the list. I hope that these are helpful and at least giving you some food for thought. The intention is to help you improve in 2022, help you to level up, if you will, and do better than you did in 2021, which was, a challenge for any of us, for all of us, really. But, we're still here, we're still kicking, and there are opportunities. There are plenty of opportunities out there. And so if I can help you, please reach out. You can contact me on Facebook at Teatime with Carol, or you can go to my Facebook page. I'm Carol Moulton, and that's the name of the Facebook page. And you can send me a message there. And a couple of people recently have reached out to me and sent me messages. And I'm always, always, always happy to hear from you. And if I can be of service, I'm more than happy to do that. So, with that, beloved, we're going to close for today. And that was part 2 of 22 in 22. 22 ways to improve your life and business and love and everything else in this year. I hope that things are going well for you, and things continue to go well. I know that in this area we're expecting some weather, some weather. I'm not going to make it negative. It's just weather, and I hope you're prepared. If it's coming your way, and that may be a good time if you're in the house. It might be a good time to implement some of the things that we've talked about. So, with that, my darlings, I am going to leave you for now. Pray that this coming week goes well. And just remember, everything you want, everything you want is on the other side of fear. Until next time, be blessed. I love you. And we'll talk again soon. Take care.